Fellas, week 6 in the books. Um, Pretty weird week across the league. I feel like there were some high scores, there were some low scores, there were some blowouts. Gilliam continues to get away with it. Um, I mentioned this in the chat. I think from here on out, I'm going to be doing the recaps on Tuesday. I will pause, and then I'll be in a new outfit for the predictions. It'll help me split up the time with making these videos between two leagues because right now I'm spending like 2.5 hours on Wednesdays just straight talking and editing, and that's just not fun. So it'll also be good for me to break them up. Um, We'll do my predictions first. You can see right here, I went 2-3 on the week. Not great. The only games I got right were the Steel Caleb game, and honestly, I thought I was going to have the Steel game wrong for a while. And then Chris and Rory. Caleb, I am 5-1 on your games. That is very unfortunate because you are 0-6. 2-4 on a lot of folks here. Derek, Chase, Sam, Steele, 2-4, Ford, 3-3, and 4-2 on the rest of you guys. And I'll mention this in the chat. The winner and loser of the week video will be like towards the second half of the video after we get into the after I do the recap, just to save me some time. But, and this was a surprise to me as well, I did get a surprise video from someone you are about to see who dubbed himself the manager of the week. And I will let the manager of the week have the floor for about 2.5 minutes. So, manager of the week, we'd all love to hear from you.
Well. Yeah, this is the manager of the week video. It's a new series we're doing. First off, Levin, congrats on getting married. I reserved a tux and everything. I think the invite got lost in the mail because I didn't know where to go. But congrats anyways. If you guys haven't seen me, I'm still the best looking guy in the league. And the best fantasy football manager. So what happened this week? Oh, that's right. Levin got absolutely fleeced. Not only did he give me the best running back in the NFL, Rico Dowdle, he also gave me the biggest dog in the NFL in Jawan Jennings. 5 broken ribs? Yeah, I mean, that's just the type of character that plays for Victoria's Secret, man. Oh, Chase. I told you on Friday, after your dog shit Eagles players played that stout Giants defense, they weren't good. You lost. And guess what? I was right. You lost. Sadly, this week I have to play Ford, who just magically happens to have Commanders players playing against my fucking Dallas dogshit Cowboys. So I will be losing this week. Ford will have 150, 160. Yep. So I'll be losing this week. Sucks, but the Cowboys are the worst defensive team of the modern era of all time. What else to say here? Steele, your team's on the downfall. Yep, called it already. You already peaked. Gilliam, your blood magic's gonna run out. Not worried. Rory, Puka Merchant, not worried. Who else? Derek, at least Derek, he's kind of a wagon, I gotta respect Derek. Can't hate on Derek. Everyone else, I'm not worried, to be honest. If y'all let me sneak in at the 6th seed, which is most likely going to happen now that I got Rice back, yeah, I might run away with this thing. Caleb, get your running shoes on. Oh, also, I'm going to Richmond. I'll be stopping by the week of November 4th. I heard there's a warning going into effect. The police are worried about a monster that's coming to the basketball courts over there. Yeah. Richmond's cooked. Peace.
I will say I got that unprompted, and that was genuinely hilarious, Sam. Thank you for the warm wishes. Yes, your trade. If I wouldn't have made the trade, I still wouldn't have won because I would have ended up starting Jawan Jennings over Kendrick Bourne, who got 1 point. Obviously, Rico Dowdle with 30, but we're happy. We have 2 Warrens on the team. We're still happy with Tyler Warren. We're happy it gave you a win, for sure. But let's get into the matchups right quick. Obviously, like I said, we don't have the winner of the week, loser of the week videos. I'll put those in at the end so I can commentate on them like I normally do. Our first matchup here, we had Steele and Caleb. I'm not sure how many people were tuned into the league so far, like for this week. This was a crazy comeback. Like, I almost texted Caleb before the games and was like, you're right, I should have picked you for the upset pick. And I was like, I don't want to jinx it. Good thing I didn't text him because I would have felt horrible. It would have been my fault. Basically, all Caleb needed was for Bijan not to outscore Kyle Pitts by 30 points. And that's exactly what happened. Steele gets the win, 139 to 137. Even with Igbokwe going down, even with J.K. Dobbins only scoring 4 points, Javonte with 8, Brandon Aubrey and the Packers D combining for 11, Matt Stafford with 9, still gets the win, 139 points. He was still the second highest scorer this week out of everyone. Bijan with 35, JSM with 30, Jonathan Taylor with 23. Just with Justin Jefferson on bye, too. A very, very, very gritty win for sure. And Lamar's obviously still hurt, too. So Steele just continues to roll. Caleb, this is a pretty crushing loss. He was top 3 in scoring this week. Obviously, would have beat a majority of the league. Mahomes with 31, A-Kane with 31, Lab McConkey with 23, Cooper Kupp with 12. His kicker had 18 points, but then everyone else just falls apart. And honestly, like the Eagles are really the reason why Caleb lost this game. We had 7 different people putting a claim for him. They get the brakes beat off them on Thursday night against the Giants, projected for 7 points. They get you 0. If Caleb plugs in any defense that gets 3 points, 2 points, he wins this game, and he's not still undefeated 6 weeks into the season. He's not still defeated 6 weeks into the season. Just left some points on the bench, too. He's still starting Trevion Henderson, even though clear it's not going to happen. If you would have started DJ Moore over him, he gets the win. Trey Tucker, 2, left 12 points on the bench there. Marvin Harrison Jr. gets hurt. If he doesn't get hurt, we're having a different conversation. And then Jahmyr Gibbs with his worst game on the season, only with 7 points going against Kansas City's defense. Just this is a crushing loss for Caleb. And Steele just continues to roll. 5-1, second place. The clear favorite of the league, as I've been saying, and will continue to say until he loses more players. But yeah, Caleb, 137, sitting at sole possession of last place at 0-6 through 6 weeks. Second matchup, Derek and Ben, 157 to 137. Very exciting matchup here. Derek, our winner of the week, would not have been the winner of the week if it wasn't for me reminding him that, like, hey, by the way, Chris Godwin was ruled out like 3 days ago at 2 o'clock. Maybe you should probably sub him out. He was traveling back from Australia, saw the text, plugged him in. So we want everyone to set their lineups. I'm not giving fantasy football advice to people as commissioner, but I will send my reminders that everyone should probably set their lineup. That's something I've always done and will continue to do. So wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day. It's not like it's not like me reminding Derek to set his lineup took away a win. He would have won regardless. Just would have been a more narrow victory. So I feel good in my text to remind Derek to set his lineup. But 157 to 137, 31 from Pickens, 23 from BTJ, 18 from JMO, as I just mentioned, 13 from his kicker, 11 from his defense. Just solid. Kenneth Walker disappointed with 4 points. That Seahawks backfield's a mess. Derek is rostering 2 kickers for some reason. He's an interesting fantasy football manager. That's all I got to say. I mean, I can't really explain it. Right now, his team's kind of firing on all cylinders because he has George Pickens, basically. Genty's been looking good. Bo Nix is still atrocious, but whatever. Chase Brown, hopefully in a couple weeks when he starts playing some easier defenses, can get it going, but it's been rough sledding for Chase Brown so far. Currently sitting as the RB30 on the year. Ben's side of the matchup, loses Garrett Wilson to injury, but apparently that Jets-Broncos game was the worst game of all time. Josh Jacobs with 32, Goddard with 26 on Thursday night, Jalen Waddle with 15, Xavier Worthy with 10, Jags defense only with 1, and then Butker with 6. 137 points, that's middle of the pack, decent scoring against half the field. That's enough to get it done. You ran into the winner of the week this week, and that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles. But both these teams currently still in the playoff picture. Ben sitting at 3-2-1. And Derek sitting at 3-3 in 6th place. Third matchup, our manager of the week, Sam Walkup, gets a win in the win column for the first time all season, 136 to 113. Takes Chase down to 2-4. Not a very close game, 23-point win. Led in scoring, as he mentioned, by Rico Dowdle with 33 points. He's newly acquired from me. CMC with 24, Tet with 17. Tongus with 11. Obviously, his value probably takes a little bit of hit if George Kittle is in fact back this week. Ramsey was a great play with 16 against the Ravens. Hassan Haskins did not seem to be the back to have. Vidal was the one that was the benefit of the Hampton injury this last week. And then Jawan Jennings, as we talked about, 5 broken ribs. Don't know why you're playing, buddy. Just sit it out. Devontae Adams only with 7 points this week. Stafford looked from the end zone a couple times, couldn't find him. If Puka misses time, Sam is obviously the biggest benefactor to that, with Devontae Adams becoming the de facto wide receiver 1 in a very pass-heavy Matt Stafford-led offense. Chase, 113 points. Um, Meh, right? Like 113, meh. You were bottom three in scoring. Um, Jalen with 20. I think Jalen's pretty mid. I'll just say that. Kelsey with 13. He's still washed. I don't care. DK was his highest scorer with 19. Kyron with 16. Derrick Henry with 14. And I finally say something nice about Debo, about he's been a really good pick. And then he shows me I shouldn't have said that. He's so fat. He doesn't even have a chin in his headshot. 5 points this week. Keenan Allen with 6. Devontae with 8. And then Matt Prater only with 2. Pat's defense was fine with 6 points. So, yeah, tough sledding for Chase for sure. He gifts Sam his first win of the season, 136-113. Chase drops to 2-4, currently out of the playoff picture. Sam 1-5, no longer in last place. Congratulations, Sam. Fourth matchup, and Chris just keeps getting away with it. 99.94 to 75. Neither team breaks 100. Chris still gets a win. Just unreal that this just keeps happening. He has not lost yet this year. Led in scoring by Dak and Jamar, who had about 50, so about half of his points. Diggs came back down to earth a little bit, had a couple really, really bad OPIs called on him. One negated another touchdown, one negated like a 50-yard gain for him. Odunze had a 32-yard touchdown called back, had a long bomb Caleb missed him on, so he only had 5 points. He could have had like 30. But Breece Hall bad. Ramondre Stevenson, you guys all know I think he's the worst running back in the NFL. He is just atrocious. A.J. Brown with a decent game with 14. Colts dealing with 1. Chase McLaughlin with 6. Rory did text me when Dalton Kincaid was trending towards being out. He's like, yo, I can't pick up another tight end. ESPN has a roster limit of 3 tight ends. I am unsure why that is the rule, but it is the rule. Obviously, it wouldn't have made a difference. He lost by 24 points. But he still thinks his team's better than Chris's, even though he literally only had 2 people score double digits. His team, and without Puka, it's looking rough. Obviously, 75 points, loser of the week. The closest next was Chris, who he played. Saquon only with 8, Justice Hill with 9, Zay Flowers with 8, Pittman with a bad game with 4, Cortland Sutton with his worst game of the year with 2. His Broncos defense was his highest score this week with 17 points. So, if you're Rory, even though you're sitting at 5-1, you got to be worried a little bit. If you're without Puka, it's going to be tough to get wins with this roster. I'll say that for sure. So he got off to a hot start. Maybe he comes crashing back down to earth. Josh Allen, he's not even the best QB in the AFC East, man. I've been saying that for years. But what can you do when Drake May's in your conference? Am I right, fellas? Chris gets a win, 99-75. Congrats, I guess. Last matchup, me and Ford, 138 to 125. I had like an 80% chance to win going into Monday Night Football, and then just had to watch it slowly get smaller until it eventually was 0%. The trade that Ford and Steele made actually, won both of them their matchups this week. Obviously, Steele with Bijan, and Drake London had his best game of the year with 31 points. Quinshon obviously disappointed, but Drake London with 31. That was tough to watch. He was the only, I think, Falcons wide receiver to catch a pass all night. The biggest swing here was our defenses. I played the Browns, who got me 0 points. Thank you, Myles Garrett. And the Raiders defense with 17 points against Tennessee. Pretty big swing in Ford's favor. I lose by 13 points, and that's kind of where we get it from. But on Ford's side of the matchup, we talked about Drake London. DeAndre Swift, I basically just needed anyone else on the field to break off that 60-yard touchdown, but Swift had his best game of the season. Drake London had his best game of the season. This was Ford's highest scoring performance by far. He hadn't broken 80 points over the last 3 weeks. 140 this week. That's just the way it goes. Jaden with 21, DeAndre with 25, Drake London with 31, Kamara with 12, Raiders D with 17. That'll do it. He was, top half in scoring this week. Deserved to win for sure. On my side of the matchup, I was let down by the Cleveland defense. I said my running backs is really what killed me this week. 8 points for all 3 of them. James Cook not being the one to catch that passing touchdown, and Ray Davis caught it. That about drove me up a wall. That was pretty tough to see. Obviously, I get lucky with Kendrick Bourne scoring 19 points for some reason. He's been really good with Mac Jones at the helm as the only pass catcher that either is playing or doesn't have 5 broken ribs. Drake May, obviously, you guys know I love him, 27 points. One of the top QBs this week, Trey McBride with 21, and then Tyler Warren with 18 as well. So it is what it is. We're very, very happy that hopefully we're going to get CD and Mike Evans back soon. Quentin Johnson being ruled out beforehand was pretty bad. I had to plug in Sterling Shepard. So we were hurting. The injury bug got us a little bit this week. It is what it is. Tough sledding, but 3-3. We're still in the playoff picture, sitting in fifth place. I think we've dropped 2 in a row now, but it's fine. Hopefully, we get our guys back, and Ford gets a much needed win, sitting at 2-4, eighth place. As I said, next time you see me talking, I'll probably be wearing something different because I'll be recording tomorrow just to split these up. You'll also have the winner of the week and the loser of the week video. So we'll get into that right now, shall we? I am a man of my word. I'm wearing something different. It is tomorrow. I do have both the winner and the loser of the week videos here, which I will show you before we get into these predictions. I'm sure you guys are all tired of seeing Derek's face at this point. He's either the best or the worst, not really anywhere in between. He was the best. He was the winner of the week this week. Let's hear from him first. Derek, what have you to say this week?
All right, what's up, guys? Before we get into my team breakdown, just want to give a quick shout out to the Commish and Lexi on their marriage this weekend. Fortunately, it looks like Commish's team took the week off when their coach wasn't around. Not a great sign, but nonetheless, congratulations. My team, 157 points, can't complain. I feel like I'm pretty much a weekly guess at this point whether my team is the best in the league or the worst in the league, which a little worrisome, a lot of hot and cold. But some good things this week. Brian Thomas finally looking like an actual NFL player, putting up some points for the team. George Pickens, got him in the trade with Sam, continues to look like a great trade for my team. We'll see how that holds up when CD's back. But right now, that's what the team needed, just a little bit of a boost. Overall, not too much downside of my team. Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, both putting up under 7 points. Don't like to see that. I pretty much traded away all my running back depth, and with Hampton on the bench now, not great. But team put together a great week, and we're looking forward to next week.
Yes, the team definitely did take the week off, but Derek, thank you for the kind words. Your team did pop off this week, as I had already mentioned. But yeah, great win. Your team is volatile. We'll say that 3-3, but you've been featured in most of the videos this week. Currently sitting in sixth place. Our loser of the week, Rory, who was bojangling. He wouldn't have taken this long to send it if he was the winner of the week. That's for sure. But let's hear from the kid, shall we, Rory? What are we up to? How are we feeling?
Is it going? Yeah. All right, hey everybody. Hey Jared. Sorry for the delay in the video. I was in the air. He admitted that I would have sent the video on time if I was winner of the week, but I am loser of the week. My team is 5-1 now. I was the only 5-0 team, so I feel like I'm still okay. ESPN's giving me a pretty high percentage chance to make the playoffs. Puka is hurt. I was reluctant to trade anybody because my team was winning, but now anybody's open, including Puka. If you want him, let me know. I'm willing to make a big deal. I'm not in panic mode, but I do think that it's worth exploring. So I have to win these next couple weeks to keep some momentum. Najee Nation's locker room is really bad right now. Everybody's banged up and everybody's sad. So Levin, congrats on getting married. Can't believe you're actually making this recap video this week, considering you just got married on Saturday. But I love you. And all the boys think Najee Nation's done. We're not. You can cut it.
Rory, thank you for the kind words. Much appreciated. I will say that if anyone ever has to outright say, I'm not in panic mode, that's a person who's in panic mode. The Najee Nation, all the wheels have fallen off consecutively. Puka going down. Zay Flowers has not been great since Lamar's been hurt. Cortland Sutton has Bo Nix as his QB. It's all coming apart right now, and he's got a 5-game head start on everyone, but he's in trouble. He's shaking in his boots. As of this time, 6:18, I sent forward a trade about 5 minutes ago. I have not gotten a response from him on it yet. Fingers crossed he accepts. Could be good for both parties. But if he does accept, I'll give you guys a live reaction of the trade because I'm sure people will be texting about it as well. With all that being said, let's get into these matchups, shall we? Let's have a good week. Our first matchup, 0-6 Caleb, 3-3 Derek. Caleb comes in at about a 134-point favorite. And we just talked about this we can't figure out Derek's team at all. He's got two of the best defensive options plays this week. He's got the Chiefs defense, who I think he was stashing for this week, or maybe he just didn't even realize he had them, and the Steelers defense against Cincy. They're both considered very good plays this week. He's got Kenneth Walker in his flex. So he's starting both Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I guess you're guaranteed any of the rushing touchdowns they score. I don't think anyone else would ever do that. Also, it's the 10 p.m. Monday game, so I really doubt he's going to be staying up to watch it, which means that Derek this week is legitimately not going to know what happened with this matchup until Tuesday morning when he wakes up, which, respect to you, Derek. I like it. We just talked about Bo Nix, about how much he sucks. Derek's still rocking with him. I might actually be sending Derek a trade here in a little bit. Yeah, we'll send Derek a trade here. We'll give him Baker Mayfield. We'll spruce his roster up for sure. Yeah, his running backs are pretty bad. Okay, Caleb's side of the matchup, 134-point projection. Mahomes sitting as the QB1 on the year. Jahmyr Gibbs obviously is a beast. Devon Akane's been great. His running backs and his QB hasn't been his problem this year. I lied. TreVeyon Henderson has been a problem. Outside TreVeyon Henderson, his running backs and his QB have been a problem this year. Kyle Pitts at the tight end. Lab McConkey's been pretty mid. MHJ's been pretty mid. Trey Tucker's been real mid outside of the 50-point game, and obviously no one played him that game. He's got the Eagles defense, who's been pretty bad, going up against Minnesota, and then Dicker the kicker, who last week was really good, but has actually been pretty meh throughout this whole year. And I really want to pick Caleb to win, but I just don't feel it in the cards this week. I feel like Derek's going to do some Derek foo-foo stuff, and it's going to work out in his favor somehow, even with CD potentially coming back, even with him starting both the Seahawks players. I just feel that he's going to get a win, even though it shouldn't happen, but it is what it is, and I think he gets the win here. Matchup 2, we've got Ford, the dumpster fire, 2-4, victorious streak at 1-5. This is on paper a poo-poo matchup, but I actually think these teams are on the up. I'll say that. Ford obviously just beat me this week, projected for 139 this week. That's one of the higher projections across the league. Obviously not anywhere close to steal, but one of the higher projections for sure. Obviously, we're going to do Ford's side of the matchup first because I'm already talking about him. His weakest piece is his tight end. Started Mason Taylor, who is not good. Obviously, he's on the Jets. No one on the Jets is good, or they wouldn't be on the Jets. The rest of his team is looking very good. So he is starting the Panthers defense against his skilled position player, Mason Taylor, on the Jets. Sure, why not Ford? Kamara, who didn't practice today, but I'm sure he'll be fine. Bill, Jacoby Myers, who is rumored not practice today, might be traded, might be a New York Football Giant soon. Drake London, Quinton Judkins, DeAndre Swift, and Jaden Daniels. His commies players, Bill and Jaden, I believe, are going to eat this week. The Dallas defense is atrocious, as our manager of the week, Sam, already talked about. On Sam's side of the matchup, going with Jordan Love. He's got CMC. Rico Dowdle still in the starting lineup, even with Chuba coming back. So he's going with Rico Dowdle and Ted. He's all in on the Panthers, going up against the Jets. So a lot of players in that matchup. In that game for this matchup, Devontae Adams obviously gets a huge boost with Puka being out. Cade Otton, if everyone's injured on the Bucs, Cade has been a pretty steady target for Baker. That's a good pickup from Sam. Rashee Rice, he obviously gets back for the first time all season, which I'm sure he's very excited about. And then I would assume he's going to play someone else instead of Juwan Jennings because Juwan Jennings has 5 broken ribs. And frankly, he might be a little washed right now, probably because of the 5 broken ribs. But he's got Michael Badgley, the Colts kicker, Rams D against Jacksonville over in the London game. But I do like this matchup. It's a very interesting matchup. And I'm having a hard time picking on who I think is going to win. Sam thinks that Ford's going to win, and because Sam's the manager of the week, I guess I'll agree with him there. So we're going to pick Ford to win here. But if he accepts my trade, I'll really pick him to win. So Ford, I think you got this one. I see you taking a 2-game win streak here. All right, matchup 3. Chase comes in at about a 65-point favorite, and even when Rory sets his lineup, I'm not seeing this line change too much. It's going to be some tough sledding for him here. He's got Puka injured, Zay Flowers on bye, Justice Hills is RB2, he's on bye. He literally doesn't have a second running back here. but he said he's not panicking. I'd be panicking if this were my roster. I'm not going to get too much into his side of it. Chase obviously is going to take the win here, and he needs it. He's 2-4. He basically has a bye week this week. Get back into the swing of things at 3-4, and you know what? He'll get the win and move on to the next thing, and the Najee Nation will continue to panic. Matchup 4, Steele and Chris. And Chris is projected for 134 points and finds himself as a 29-point dog here. Just a wild number next to Steele's name, 163 points, and this is still without Lamar Jackson. Chris, you're cooked, buddy. But if anyone can get it done somehow with some devil magic, it would be you. But this is the battle for first place, and once Steele gets into first, I don't see him ceding it to anyone along the way. JT, Bijan, JJ, JSN, Jake Ferguson, J.K. Dobbins, Javonte Williams. He's got all the J's lined up. Brandon Aubrey, the kicker, won on the year as well. It never stops with him. He's just number one all the way through, it looks like. On Chris's side of the matchup, respectable team outside of Ramondre Stevenson, who is a terrorist to football as a whole. Jamar seeming to have found his groove. Odunze looks great. A.J. Brown's been pretty bad. Diggs is looking great. Dakota Prescott. That should be a good game this week. Seahawks D, the defense won on the year on the Monday 10 o'clock game. Obviously, he's without Bucky again this week. Jordan Addison, maybe he finds his way into the lineup instead of A.J. Brown, who has been very bad. We'll see, right? Pacheco's been serviceable as well, maybe. But, I mean, he's a 30-point underdog. If anyone can get it done, I think it's going to be him. But I do think Steele takes this one. Our last matchup, me and Ben. Ben is about a 7-point favorite here. However, I have not plugged in Mike Evans yet. He's still sitting in my IR. So this line should shift a little bit when I do plug him in. But Ben will still be a favorite regardless of when I plug him in for Kendrick Bourne. Ben's team's looking good. You know, I'll say it. I said it last week. He put up like 140 points, didn't get a win, but still looked good. Jacobs has been fantastic. Etienne's been great. Amon-Ra's been great. Jalen Waddle obviously has got a huge boost with Tyreek going down. Guard's been great. Olave's been great. Scadabo's been great. All these guys he drafted, or I'll say ESPN drafted for him, are looking really good. He's got a good team. On my side of the matchup, obviously we hope we get some guys back this week. It'd be awesome to have CD back for the first time in a month. It'd be awesome to get QJ back. It'd be awesome to get Mike Evans back. Obviously we were hurting a bunch. We were just happy we were able to scrape out some victories during that time off, and obviously Drake May is the best player that's ever lived. He's at the helm. Baker is just riding pine right now. There's no room for him in this locker room. But it is what it is, right? Matt Gay, you know, we're hoping for lots of points. We're not saying he's the best kicker, but he's in a high-powered scoring offense. I unfortunately have a hard time picking myself to win after I just lost to Ford, the dumpster fire. So I will be picking Ben here, hoping that it is kind of a jinx on my own team and I'm able to spark a playoff push here. We're sitting right in the middle of the pack right now at 3-3. But Ben's team is looking really good. I do think his team's rolling. Not excited to play him this week. With all that being said, thank you all for watching. Would love to make some more trades this week because I just like trading. Go Pats. Thanks for watching.